Are we rolling? Okay. So last week we talked about how to make money, and we left off on, well, to make money, ultimately you need to build an audience. So today I want to talk about how to do exactly that. I'll just tell you how I'm doing it. I'll give you some ideas. I made a pilot. That's where it all started. I made a pilot for a show. So I came up with a show, and that's a whole topic in and of itself. But let's say you already have a show, and because you probably have an idea rumbling around your head, and so you put it together in a pilot, and you test it out, and you put it out there. And what I did is I did a Kickstarter, and a Kickstarter not only kickstarts the money, but also kickstarts the audience, because it's a call to action. People share it. You find people that are helping you, and you find parents that believe in your message, and you're starting your audience right there. You don't have to do a Kickstarter to find your audience, but I found it really useful to get started. So I made the pilot, and that took forever. Right? I'm learning all sorts of new skills. One thing I sucked at was managing a crew. I thought I'd be good at that. I was awful at that. So if you worked on my show, thanks for sticking with me on that. I super appreciate it. But the team was troopers, and we got everything done, and then it took me a long time to post-produce. I was also dealing with a lot of anxiety and stuff like that. We can also talk about that kind of stuff. And so I get the pilot out there. You can do viewings of that pilot, and you can find people, you can go around. So I only did one viewing, but you can do a lot of viewings. If I was in a better mental space, I would have done this, is I would have taken it around to target audience places. Where are the kids hanging out? And can I go into classrooms? You can find teachers that want to teach your subject, and then you can be there. And then you can also talk about kids about following your dreams, and so you can also make it like a motivational thing for the kids. It can be really rewarding. And just like bringing it around, shopping around, and then you're getting feedback when you do that because you're watching children's reactions. And I was very lucky to have been able to write a script that I made jokes, and you don't know if kids are gonna laugh at the jokes, but they laughed at the jokes. And another thing is too, you can do a table reading of it, or you can do like a prototype of it. Kids don't really mind. Again, like I've said before, kids don't really mind high production value, so you can have a low production value and see how things go and gauge it from that way. PBS and other people, they do puppet shows of it, right? They do storybook versions of it as well to see what's connecting, what's not. That can be really helpful too. And then so you're building an audience organically that way as well. Now digitally, the strategy, if you're gonna do something on YouTube, is to have weekly content. And I know you're thinking, how the heck am I gonna get this show out every week? It's gonna take 2 years before I can get to that point. You're not wrong. I'm in the same boat too. And we're gonna talk about how to streamline that process on another video. That's not really the focus here. Because there's a lot of bulking tactics that you can do. I guess brief, I'm gonna record a second pilot now knowing a ton more stuff, and get feedback on that, do what I just said. And then I'm gonna go into the remaining, I have like 13 more episodes in season 1, and I'm gonna do Olive Pocket, Olive Gordo, Olive Quinn, like each puppet individually, and then piece it all together that way. So bulking it is gonna help. Definitely gonna talk about that in another video, because that's a huge topic. So what are we talking about? Oh man, I see the lights when I close. I see big purple circles. Big purple circles. Speaking of bulking, I am bulking these videos all in one day. If you notice, everything's the same. But with bulking comes like, oh my goodness, I've been doing this nonstop for the past 2.5 hours. Really? It's almost lunchtime. Oh goodness. Okay. So, what were we talking about? What is the subject of the day? How to build an audience. So digitally, then, okay, so well, that show's gonna take time. So you need something, you need your, what's called hero content. That's your main show, that's your main thing that you wanna bring out, but that's your baby, right? So you wanna take care of your baby and have your baby grow right. You need other content that's not your baby, that is just like, but it's supplementary to your show. So you wanna think about your audience that you wanna do, your niche, and what kind of stuff do they want to see that's related to your show. So I'll give you an example. With my show, Zero's Rainbow Warriors is my main thing, and that's the thing I want to bring out into the world, but in order to grow an audience, I need something to grow. So by the time I launch my episode streak, I have a large subscriber base to launch to. And I do that by having weekly content. So I am working on weekly videos and trying to get out space videos where I'm just teaching about space and trying to get it as simple as possible to get as many episodes out as possible. So for your first show, go ahead, go the extra mile, but done is still better than perfect. But make it beautiful, make it right, but make it done is the thing there. But with everything else, KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. So you want to keep it simple and as basic as you can get. And you will learn as you go how to make it better, but keep it simple. Just use sock puppets if that's what you got. Someone was talking about like making shows with talking fruit or something. Like, great, do it. Like make it simple, make it quick and dirty version. You're gonna learn so much by trying to be efficient, so then when you're actually making your hero content, you have learned all those skills as well. And you've built an audience, and you build a rapport, and you have people, you have a relationship with the viewers. That's the YouTube content strategy, and it's a good one. So that's how but then you also wanna market to the families that would wanna watch your show. And you have to think about what types of parents are responding to this show. Once you make the pilot is key. So what types of parents are responding to this? Mine talks a lot about mindfulness because there's a lot of parents that really value mindfulness. And if they're gonna watch a show with their child, they're gonna wanna watch a show that teaches mindfulness versus one that doesn't teach mindfulness, that inadvertently teaches mindlessness, which is most of television. But if you can say like, hey, I have this show. If your kids wanna watch shows, parents wanna watch shows with kids. At times, right? Like parents, busy parents. So you gotta think about what kind of parent am I going for? Are they stay-at-home parents? Is it double income parents? How much time do they have their kids, and how do they want to spend that time? And can I create a product? You have to think about your show as a product that serves their needs. Can my show serve their needs? When you serve your audience in that way, it helps you builds that relationship and that trust, and then they become advocates for you. And the number one way to grow your audience is to have people that love your show, that think your show is the best thing in the world. And we can talk about that. And in terms of competition between me and you and everyone else, like this, we don't have to worry about that because we're gonna connect with different people for different reasons. So there's the realist version and the idealist version. And in both ways, you have people that love your show for what it is. And they love it because of you, because you are making it. You can do advertising campaigns on Facebook, Instagram, real life, on actual television. Like in magazines, there's all sorts of ways that we can advertise ourselves. Ironic, right, that I'm talking about advertising for myself when in a previous video I'm talking about how ads are bad. Ads aren't bad. Ads to children are ethically questionable. Ads to adults, it's just how things work. Okay, now maybe you're thinking after watching these videos, you're thinking, okay, I think I can do this, but there's a but, right? What is that but? That but is butts. Sorry. I'm such a dork. That's a question there, and it's a fear. It's a fear that you have. So in the next video, I'm gonna talk about the top 5 fears for being an independent children's television host. Top 5 fears. In the next video, I'm gonna talk about the top 5 fears for being an independent children's host. An independent children's host. An independent children's show host. In the next video, I'm gonna talk about the top 5 fears to being, one more time. In the next video, I'm gonna talk about the top 5 fears to being a children's In the next video, I'm gonna talk about the top 5 fears to being a children's show host. Hopefully I'm addressing your fears. Question of the day, what are your fears?